People of Earth, how are you? My name is Al. Across the table from me is my friend Joe.
Hey.
Who's fresh off a nap. I can't fucking help but admit I'm jealous. And together we do a podcast called Kinda Right, which is what you're listening to, the 113th edition thereof, give or take.
Yes.
Give or fucking take. And hopefully, I basically do this show for my children, so when I'm dead, they'll be able to listen to what we've been talking about and stuff, what was on my mind. And
you're not doing it for the money?
Right. And so all of you people in the future, if you forget what was going on in 2019, I'm going to tell you what was going on in America, and that's Trump derangement syndrome. People, the number one fucking thing on most people's mind is Donald Trump. All right? Or people who are in a bad mood anyway.
Well, no, people that...
the guy is the biggest story on the planet every second of every day.
He's not... I don't think about Trump that much, to be honest with you, but...
Well, it's because you like him.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think about him that much. He has people crazy.
I talked about Trump.
They're crazy.
I talked about Trump derangement syndrome in my counseling session on Saturday with my counselor, briefly.
What do you say? Or she?
Well, no, believe me, it's a he. I can't be having a female counselor. Just sit there and fucking lie to her. That's what I do with women. I just lie to them. You know what I mean?
You tell her all your problems come from your 12-inch cock?
Please. That's the one thing I don't tell stories about. Because
that's what you'd tell her. Ever since I realized my cock was 3 times the size of the average man's. It hasn't been easy for me.
I would just be trying to charm her the whole time and just lie, not tell the truth.
Might as well say.
I'm not going to pay for therapy and fucking lie while I'm there. You know what I mean?
Some pock-faced old
That
dude.
being said, therapy's, you got to go 3 or 4 times a week. I want to go 3 or 4 times a week. I don't want to go once a week or once every other week or week and a half. That's not going to do it for me. I need 3 or 4 of them. You know what I mean?
Well, I think I think you're right.
And I got to figure out a way to do that because the once a week thing is semi-annoying. It's annoying. I can see that what the use for it would be if you could go 3 or 4 times a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why rich people do it because they can, and it's a good thing. You know what I mean? But once a week, Did you go? Did you have yours yet?
Thursday.
Oh, it's this Thursday coming. It seems like it's always coming.
Well, I had one and they canceled.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to talk about therapy, but fuck it. You know
Why not?
I don't know.
Howard Stern talks about his therapy.
I'm not supposed to ask
time.
you about your therapy. You're not supposed to talk about other people's therapy. You can talk about your own.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad form to inquire. I find myself doing that with my wife. I ask about her therapy, and I shouldn't. You know,
therapy is good for therapists.
Well, fucking, they're actually, speaking of our president, they're actually starting to pull the old, like, actual psychologists and psychiatrists, fucking talking heads in the media are starting to verbally question his fucking fitness, his mental fitness. They're starting the old Ronald Reagan thing that they started with Reagan. You know what I mean? Although Reagan did end up, losing his mind, but he had his mind. He had his marbles when he was 2 years into his presidency, and they started this bullshit with him. They're doing it with fucking Trump now.
Yeah, but nobody's buying this shit. Did you see his approval rating is up to like 53%?
Now, residing directly in the Nobody Cares file, John Kerry says that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has shown more leadership in her short tenure as a U.S. rep than Donald Trump has showed in his entire life.
Really?
Jealous much, John? Jesus Christ, you sound like a petty cunt.
Well,
John Kerry is a petty cunt.
He's a blue blood,
Yeah.
born with a silver spoon in his mouth, who married a blue blood. Well, she wasn't a blue blood. She married a blue blood.
Yeah.
And the guy died
Right.
with no other heirs except her.
Is she still around and they're all still together and stuff? Wow.
I don't know. I don't know whether she's still alive, or I'm sure he's got the money.
Yeah.
Or he's got a good portion of it.
Yeah.
But John Kerry is a typical... Like, he got into the Senate in 1984, and when did he leave? Like 2016? Is that about right?
No, because he was the Secretary of State in like 2011.
Right, but I mean...
He wasn't a senator. He was a senator
But
up
I mean,
until then.
he was a senator up until he was appointed...
Secretary of State.
Right. And he did nothing for his entire tenure as senator. I mean, can you think of anything that he did?
No, I didn't really pay much attention, but can't think of anything substantial called the Kerry bill or the Kerry law, or,
right?
You know what I mean?
I can't really think of anything that.
There's a Frank Dodd bill out there, Barney Frank. You could think of that. You know what I mean?
But
Chris Dodd's got his name on a huge bill, which, by the way, is funny because remember Chris Dodd from the fucking Imus's golden age?
Oh yeah,
fucking Chris Dodd is a fucking wild man. Right up, you know what I mean? He was one of Teddy's running boys. They were opposites politically, but he was one of his fucking running lads.
Chris Dodd?
Yeah.
Teddy Kennedy?
Yeah.
Chris Dodd's a Democrat.
Yeah, but they weren't. I don't know. When I think Chris Dodd, I think more of a moderate guy. I don't know. I don't think of Ted Kennedy as a Kennedy Democrat. As weird as that sounds.
There was something Chris Dodd did that made him a hood in my book, and I forget what it is. I mean, he was like, he was balls deep.
Yeah.
The financial crisis.
Oh, yeah.
And like he had made a fortune off of these people. And
that's what I'm saying. You can think of a bill, and it was Chris Dodd, a fucking kind of a fuck up.
Yeah, and he's the one that, he and Barney Frank wrote the new regulations that's going to, this will never happen again. They're too big to fail. And turns out it'll happen again.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
It'll happen again.
So that's Chris Dodd.
Right.
Barney Frank, I think Barney always meant well.
Wow. What we're saying is there's no John Kerry bill. You're not going to remember anything written by John Kerry.
He's never done anything. That's the thing. I mean,
man, he was Secretary of State. I'll give him credit.
But you know what?
Not an easy job.
He was appointed to be Secretary of State.
Well, everyone's appointed to be Secretary of State.
And he was... I just look at him as just a fucking waste. Like, the guy's never had to struggle. You know, when you go, all right, well, he went to Vietnam.
Right.
Well, he was in Vietnam for 4 months.
And somehow got...
He was in there for 4 months.
3 Purple Hearts?
3 Purple Hearts, a Silver Star, and I think he got a Bronze Star, too. And I believe he put himself in for the medals. And, look, and I believe he probably went to Vietnam willingly. I don't know that. And then it's just, it's like privilege. The whole thing is privilege all the way.
Yeah.
He was a person of privilege. Privilege, and he caught the right breaks.
Right place at the right time kind of guy.
And you don't even have to, you just have to be able to put yourself in the right place.
Lieutenant Governor of
and then
Massachusetts?
be a little ambitious, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, all I have to say is he's kind of a lightweight. That's all.
Well, he'll kind of be forgotten forever.
He will. Yeah, history will. It's not that it will treat him unwell. It just won't.
There won't
even
be any,
mention him.
There won't be a footnote.
No John Kerry. Although, some historians do, historians who study presidential campaigns, they'll find that he was.
Yeah, he ran a shitty presidential campaign.
Yeah, that's about it. He finished second one year.
Who was his running mate? Do you remember?
Geraldine Ferraro? No, I don't know. No, that was somebody else's running mate.
Yeah, that was Fritz Mondale.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. No, the other woman who looked like Geraldine Ferraro. He had a female, didn't he?
I don't know.
Oh my God, isn't that terrible?
That's the thing. I mean,
usually know that shit.
You forget the losers real fast.
Yeah, I mean,
John Kerry and
who was John Kerry's running mate? God damn it! Who was John Kerry's running mate? John Edwards.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it John Edwards?
I told you it was some chick. He fucking
what a great fucking choice.
His wife before she fucking got half. His wife used to say that he took more time. She used to call him the Breck girl because of him with his hairspray. You know what I mean?
Oh,
the Breck girl is a 70s reference for people of our generation.
I remember
hairspray. Breck girls. If you were a Breck girl, you were pretty cute, and you had, kind of almost shoulder-length hair, and it was very full and full of hairspray on TV commercials. Do people even talk about TV commercials anymore? That's the wonderful thing about how we consume television now is you don't really notice the commercials. Some of them, once in a while, you get caught in a rut of watching them. Do you always zip right through them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you watch everything.
Even on
recorded.
YouTube, you might have to sit through 15 seconds or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll turn the volume off and just look the other way.
I'm trying to think of a current ad campaign. Well, Geico always seems to have kind of funny commercials. I can't think of another national ad. KFC with the fucking rotating in and out fucking Colonel Sanders guys. Did you pay any attention to that the last couple years?
Colonel Sanders?
Yeah, the chicken, fried chicken.
No.
There's an ever-rotating cast of, and it's always someone famous playing them. But it's the only other one I can really think of is an ongoing current ad campaign. And you could probably list off 20 of them from the 70s if you wanted to, which, we don't have to. Just we consume television in a different manner now. However, we are bombarded with advertising all day long if you surf the internet, you know what I mean? And have the TV on. You are bombarded with advertisement.
Well, it's just they don't have to pay as much for the ads.
Right.
But it doesn't go as, it's not reaching. I mean, it's like being a...
It's amazing how it knows.
Being the host of the nightly news now is it's a joke compared to what it used to be. Of the three networks, they have the nightly news that's a half hour long.
I used to be able to name you the anchors right up until about 5 years ago. I don't have a fucking clue now.
No.
Do they do it by committee?
And Norm Macdonald made a good observation that not only could they give you all the news you needed in a half an hour, there was time at the end of the show for like a fluff piece.
Yeah, right.
Like the fucking water skiing
on the way
squirrel,
out. Yeah, on the way
squirrel
out.
or something like that. So I think Norm had hit the nail on the head that there's not that much news. There's news, but there's not.
Well, not a lot of people are turning to the fucking traditional broadcast television fucking news anymore for their fucking news.
Well, there's no need for 24-hour news. That's the point.
And there is 24-hour news both nationally and locally now, by the way. Like Channel 7 it isn't affiliated with a network anymore, and it's like news half the day, which is cool if that's what you want. But have you watched the local news lately?
No.
It's fucking terribly depressing. It's fires and babies dying and
Well, that's
fucking
news.
hypodermic needles and
There's no
you
good
know what I mean?
news.
It's just bad. It's very sad. Now, I think we might have touched upon this one time when Bob was here and you guys stared at me blankly. I do like to once in a while get up a little early and flip around and see what all the broads are wearing on the fucking morning news, the local morning news, channel 4, 5, 25, 10. You know what I mean? Take a little trip around, see what's up. Because a lot of those girls work out and they look great. You know what I mean? And I think that's what morning news is all about now. What fucking shoes is Sherry Spear wearing? You know what I mean? I want to, and are her fucking toes done? Which, by the way, they are nicely.
I read an article in the Miami Herald it was titled, Biden Hugged, Harris Ruined Lives. Who's more reviled?
Harris. Kamala Harris?
Yeah, well,
How did she ruin lives?
Oh, she's a
Her family owned slaves, by the way.
typical fucking. I don't. Is she a Negro?
I believe she's of mixed heritage.
So apparently, she's one of these people that like there's all kinds of
She's a
anybody
senator
that she
from
locked
California.
up. She likes to keep locked up, whether there's exculpatory evidence or not.
She was a prosecutor, no doubt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she likes to keep them all locked up.
She's down with that.
She's down with it, whether they're guilty or not, whether she fucked up or not, which is a typical lawyer move.
She'll be AG under the next fucking Democratic president. Probably. That's probably what she wants to be.
I read this article and I hope she fucking dies. I
Yeah.
hope someone shoots her in the fucking head.
Really?
Yeah, it would be nice. I'd love to see her brain splattered all over a fucking background of Kamala Harris hugging a baby.
And you just know with today's fucking camera on everybody at every fucking minute, there will be footage. You know
It
what
would
I mean?
be great.
There'll be tons of it. It won't be this fucking fucked up Zabruta film looking fucking thing. You'll see her head actually explode.
No, but she's not going to be president. So
I said she won't be president.
No, she's not.
She might be AG under
She's not going to
a
be
Democratic
any-
president.
No. She'll-
Yeah, maybe.
She'll be going away.
Well, I mean, certainly if, she doesn't want her life 100% ruined, the sooner the better. The longer she stays in it, her life is going to get ruined.
I guess Bernie's the front runner.
Bernie's on fire, dude.
Apparently, he's I just read
It's
like a headline.
it's
Bernie's
amazing.
the front runner.
So he'll be the one that loses to Trump, I think Trump wants to run against Bernie.
Would that
wants
be
to-
something if Bernie actually won the primary?
If he doesn't fucking up and die of fucking withering old age by the time the fucking convention rolls around a year and fucking 2 or 3 months
Right.
from now.
And he
He's
dies
got like
during
50
the convention?
Oh my God, can you imagine? Then what happens? Then Hillary comes out, the de facto. That's
No,
when Hillary
I-
gets back into
I
it.
think the vice president, whoever he nominated,
He dies.
gets in.
He dies at the convention before Obama even gets a chance to fucking endorse him, because Obama ain't endorsing anybody until that convention's over. I don't see him throwing his fucking weight behind anybody. You know what I mean? Certainly not while there's 12 of them standing or whatever the fuck it is.
No,
Is it up to 14 yet?
He's not going to do that, but
Well, he's smart. He won't do that.
he's. I'm telling you, there's going to be books written about how dirty the Obama White House was.
Yeah.
He's a dirty dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. High and Mighty Speech is a dirty dude.
Well, it'll be fun when it's all exposed.
I don't know whether he's evil, but I think he's fucking definitely dirty.
Yeah. I should probably have a really well-informed opinion about him, but I didn't like him while it was going on. I didn't like that he won the nomination even. And I didn't like when he got elected. So
I don't know. I can't say I was that upset when he got elected.
I was.
I was.
I was incensed he even got the nomination.
The idea, though, that he was going to be the most transparent president, and man, that White House just went underground.
It's fucking downright opaque.
Yeah, it was downright. It was run by.
It was solid colored stain. So
yeah,
it was not semi-transparent stain. It was two coats.
There was just
solid,
no
not semi-solid.
No leaking. There wasn't a lot of leaking.
And Obama knows solid. You know what I mean?
He knows who?
Solid. I'm sure he said solid. Solid, man. Solid colored stain. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And then, and then the other thing is his tax returns. Those are going to get the IRS and the head of the IRS and the Secretary of the Treasury are trying to decide which one of them will be the one to release them.
They're not going to release his tax returns.
You don't think so? Did you read today? Are you up to the minute?
I'm not, but you give me a fucking...
that's about all I know. The fucking... Not only was Attorney General Barr in front of Congress today, but so was...
You can jump up and down all you want, but if an individual doesn't want to leave, it's not...
Right.
It's not part of the deal.
Right.
I mean, unless they can... If there's some way to force someone to release their tax returns, which I don't know... it's not. Is it part of a legal process, or is it part of, what is the basis? Just release them because we want to see them?
I don't know. Because of some sort of wacky precedence that's not even law. That's what it is.
Because other presidents have released their tax returns?
Right.
Is that why? It doesn't matter. It's still... You're not supposed to have to release your tax returns if you don't want to.
Right.
They're private.
Right.
And he doesn't want to release his for good reason. Probably because they're fucking 7,000 pages long, which just gives for the fucking press that doesn't care about context. Can you imagine how they could make shit look?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Trump made $300 million and never paid any taxes, running a fucking Ferris wheel in Central Park or something. In the summer of 2012. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The government is rolling out the IRS in the attempt to eliminate people jobs, which is good, but the IRS, in an attempt to make it so that come tax return time, you neither get a penny or pay a penny. The new W-4 is being rolled out, and it looks more like a 1040. There's shit on there that you got to put on your withholding form, all your information, all your spouse's information. Now your employer is going to be able to see that. They rolled out a test version of it last year. They wanted to have it implemented this year. It's not. By May 31st, a lot of companies are going to roll it out, and then by the end of the year, everyone's going to have to fill out a new W-4 wherever you work with a lot more information than your employer knew before.
So that's the form you fill out with your 6 dependents?
Yeah.
And they want...
But now you have to fill in what your spouse makes and on your withholding form. It looks more like a 1040.
Yeah, it looks more like a police state.
Yeah, well, that's what's going down.
It really does.
But that's because they don't want to... They want you to have the exact amount of tax taken out. No more finagling. You could still take deductions on your new W-4 and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I just fucking lie through my teeth
Yeah, well, I used to.
on the W-4.
Oh, yeah, well. Yeah.
I don't fill one out, so of course I never lie through my teeth.
Well.
But if I had to, I would. If I had to fill one out.
But,
Fuck them.
yeah, I know. Fucking, oh, yeah, and that was the other thing about Barr being in front of his fucking thing today. They were more concerned with the Justice Department filed a suit trying to get fucking the Affordable Care Act fucking out of there. So they were more worked up about that than the Mueller report. They brought him in for the Mueller report, but with the whole fucking this other thing going on with the Affordable Care Act, and he basically said they were like, you know, they're all up in arms, and he's like, well, if it's such a silly idea for the lawsuit, then you have nothing to worry about, do you? He basically said, you know,
Right.
says, if it's a silly, frivolous suit, then don't worry about it. And, you know, then they're like, oh, whoa, we're worried about the people we represent. And he goes, well,
Not really.
the president is also.
You spent. Well, here's the thing that somebody pointed out, because this isn't me, but somebody said this, and I don't know who I heard it from, but they basically just wasted 2 years trying to make a drumbeat to get rid of this president, and they failed miserably. Now they look horribly. They look horrible.
It was a attempted coup on the president of the United States.
And they still can't. You still have that fucking. I've talked about him on this podcast several times. There's Adam Schiff, who's
Yeah.
beady-eyed fucking stooge.
Yep.
And he's still saying, well, there's probably collusion somewhere. Or
yeah.
just because he wasn't convicted of it doesn't mean that there wasn't.
Right.
Just because there wasn't enough evidence to convict him doesn't mean that he didn't do some of it.
How about
He's out of his mind.
Double Jeopardy Jones? You know what I mean? How many times you got to investigate there, Adam? How many times?
well,
and how long?
he
And how
just-
much?
But he staked his
Until
whole
what?
career on this.
Yeah, well, again, another one, a blip in the history book. He'll only be mentioned as Trump's foil. That's it. Nothing important accomplished, just a lot of noise, a lot of wasted time, a lot of appearances on television. You know what I mean?
Well, I do know what you mean, and I believe that there needs to be a lot more school shootings.
I think there was another one yesterday.
Yeah, but they're shooting the wrong people. The schools. They're going to the wrong schools. They need to start going to law schools.
Yeah,
Shooting
all the
everyone in
future
the
lawyers,
fucking-
all the future lawyers.
And the professors.
That
who
sounds
are-
like the plot to some wacky Terminator movie. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger
start
comes
killing
back
every one of these
and he just
motherfuckers.
mows down all the lawyers. What a great fucking idea for a movie.
They're the biggest group of fucking parasites on the planet.
And then there's no lawyers, or the people who are terribly way unsuited to be lawyers.
Hey, it's hard to believe that Shakespeare, I can't even tell you when Shakespeare was around, but
I should know.
he
I think
said
it's
that
the
all the
14 or
lawyers should have been
1500s.
fucking killed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going back. I mean, lawyers have sucked for so long. Everyone hates them. It's just an awful profession of scum.
Yeah, what a way to spend the one life that you got.
Yeah, just
You know what I
fucking,
mean? To be the biggest scumbag that you can possibly be.
Fucking whore from California trying to keep innocent people in jail longer than so that she looks like she's got an excellent conviction record. I mean, that's really the most important thing to you, Kamala, is to keep somebody that's innocent in jail so you can look tough.
Right.
You can be tough on crime.
Right.
Is that really the person you want president? Somebody that will leave someone in jail to rot. You want them to be president because what? Because she's got
Tough.
Does she have any great ideas? Has she ever done anything
Well, she's kept people in jail.
other than put people in jail? Has she ever done anything?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I think she's been a fucking lawyer, and then she's politically ambitious, and that's
She's younger
you know.
than me.
No, I think she's 53.
I thought she was like 48. I must be confusing her with one of the other broads.
She's
I thought
53.
she was born like 19.
Plus, who wants? We've already had Barack Obama. We don't need a Kamala.
Oy vey, can you imagine? Well, it's Harris, though. Does she have is she got a hyphen, or is she just Kamala Harris? I thought she was like
I don't know.
hyphenated. I don't even know. I know I'm not interested in what any of those people have to say right now, unfortunately.
Her middle name is Devil.
I'm not. Is it really? DeVille?
Oh, Devi.
Oh, Devi.
I thought it was
Jesus Christ.
It's close
Kamala Devil Harris. That's
Oh, she went to
awesome.
Howard University.
Oh,
so
well,
she
there
must
it
be
is.
Black. She must be a Negro, Al.
That's all right. That doesn't make her a bad gal, man.
Her parents are Shyamala Gopalian and Donald Harris.
Yeah, her father's like straight up fucking American Irish.
Shyamala.
mom's-
SHYAM.
Mom's of African descent, I believe.
Oh, she must be a.
But
She,
my brother's alter ego on Twitter hammers everything Kamala Harris twitters with, she'll say, it's a shame that, people are being separated at the border, and Dave will post under his name Chris Crinkle, and it's a picture of French fries. It says, was your family owning slaves a shame also? Or something like that every time. That's all he talks about.
right.
It's her family owning slaves. Everything that comes out of her mouth, he goes, oh, really? How about when your family owned slaves? How about that?
Did they own a lot of slaves?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it or talked to him about it, but I'm sure Dave's
looked it up, so
I'm sure
he's got to be right.
I'm sure he wouldn't be hammering on it if it wasn't the truth. Now, I've called Dave on some bullshit here and there, you know what I mean? But it's stuff he can't back up. I'm sure he can back up this one. I'm sure somewhere along the line, old Donald Harris's ancestors owned a slave or two,
Well, she did not initially support the legalization of recreational marijuana, but later moved to support legalization.
In California or on a national level, what are we talking about?
California.
What did she do in California? What was her job? Was she attorney general there? Or was she
Oh, no, she
state
was
senator?
attorney general in California.
California, okay, yeah.
That was her deal. And then she became...
Senator from California.
she must have filled Boxer's seat, right? Because
Yes.
Boxer quit.
Yeah, Boxer quit, and Feinstein's still throwing it down.
Feinstein's still in there.
Still throwing it down. Still feisty. Old Diane.
I don't think Feinstein's leaving. She's going to die.
No, she ain't leaving.
She's
She don't
like
wanna leave.
85 years old.
She's older than that, I bet. I bet she's older than that. She will be the oldest person in that fucking body at some point. I think you're right. Whatever. What else has she got to do? You know what I mean? Was she gonna go garden? Fucking. That's the type of gal who, if she does stop working, then she'll die. You know what I mean? She'll work.
Well, it's
She'll
like
keep
Pelosi.
working.
Pelosi's not going. I mean, what is she going to go home and spend time on the vineyard with her husband? I mean, that's probably death to her.
Acquire real estate and sell it
But I mean,
for a profit.
she's almost 80. I mean, it's like
Again, yeah,
you
what is
can't
she going to
be-
do?
You can't be like she wants to go out fighting.
Yeah, I don't blame her, by the way.
And she will, as long as she stays in Congress, she'll go out fight. I don't see her ever quitting. She's going to die in her seat.
Yeah.
You got to hand it to old Nancy,
Not a lot of women die in their fucking congressional seats, but you're right.
who used to like, see, I don't know if I'd still throw her a bag out, but
I
you
would.
know,
I'd totally.
a while ago, like when Bush made her, well, when she won the
midterm fucking.
yeah, when they won the
appointment.
elections and she became
Speaker.
Speaker,
Yeah.
chairman, whatever
Speaker of the
fuck it
House.
is.
Speaker of the House. Speaker of the House.
She was totally bangable right there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she's probably in her 60s.
She
then,
was
right?
was in her 60s. Yeah,
That was like 2006, maybe.
late 50s, 60s. Who knows? Looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, she had some nice
you
fun
know.
bags.
Listen, the body doesn't matter how many times you get it nipped and tucked. It starts to lose its tone. You know what I mean? She's I don't know. She's clearly not hung up with more plastic surgery. She got shit to do. She's got to play the foil. Her and the fucking joke. Chuck Schumer reminds me of the fucking Joker for some reason. It looks like the Joker. That fucking stupid smile. You know what I mean? His fucking green skin. No, he's not. No, Joker had white skin. I don't like Chuck Schumer. I think he's fucking slimy.
Why do you not like Chuck?
Because he sucks.
You don't think Chuck would like reverse a position or anything, would you?
Do you know that Los Angeles has more people than all but 12 states? And that's why we have an electoral college.
Yeah, I believe there's 20 million people in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Now, of course, same with New
What's
York
Los
City.
Angeles County, by the way?
Whatever. Fucking, that's why there's an electoral college. I'm sorry. I just went off on a tangent.
No,
I don't even remember how I got there.
We're talking about Chuck Schumer.
Oh, when you talk about Nancy Pelosi, I'm just thinking of these awful people who would be wielding even more power if the popular vote. You know what, though? If we had the popular vote for president, it would have been two totally different people at the end anyway. If it was always no electoral college, different people would be president and different things would have happened. So it would not have been Trump against Hillary.
Right. It would have been a totally different country.
It would have been a totally different everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't say there shouldn't be. Well, there is. You know what I mean? There just is. Cunt. Liz Warren, whom I cannot believe is still in the race.
Well, I mean, this race hasn't even gotten going.
I know, but she's not going to get any traction. She's going to get savaged by even everyone on. They're gonna fucking make a meal out of her. She got a lot of energy, by the way. Holy shit, for a 70-something-year-old broad, man, she's peppy. You know.
Well, because she's a believer.
I think she takes care of herself, too.
No, I think what you have to do is you have to be one of these people that just believes you're absolutely right.
At all
I don't
times.
know where that comes from.
Well, it worked for Hillary for a while, and then she got wide. I don't see Liz Warren putting on 150 pounds like old Hillary did.
But if you can continue to believe that you're absolutely 100% right, you know.
That'll drive you?
Because it's...
Keep you going.
I mean, I would never make it past the fucking, the Pocahontas thing. I'd be like, all right, you got me. Yeah, fuck it. And I'd just be out, I just quit public life and just go
see
back.
Your point
and,
there.
You know what I mean?
But you wouldn't have pulled the Pocahontas.
Oh, of course I would. I just would have never ran for senator.
Right. I guess that's more the point, isn't it?
I would have lied through my teeth to get any job because I don't care. But once you get the job, you kind of shut the fuck up.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't go on a... she got the job and then went on a self-righteous fucking, campaign against the evil, barely Republican Scott Brown. You know what I mean?
Right.
And won and became one of our senators. And is now our senior citizen.
She's
senator.
Well, that too.
And senior citizen.
Senior senator from the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Who's a person who fucking blatantly lied that she was an American Indian.
Yeah.
To get her job which paid her like crazy. I've heard it would pay her like $400,000 a year or something.
The one at Harvard?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she teaches 1 credit a year. She doesn't even teach 3 credits.
I mean, some insane amount of money this fucking person gets paid for being a non-Indian. And why haven't they letting her? Why is she still there? Why don't they fucking fire her ass? I mean, she lied. That's been proven, right? That she lied?
I don't know. Didn't they just do her fucking DNA on TV or something, and it came out that she does have the blood in her? I think that's...
Yeah, she's got about as much Indian as you and me.
She's got like 1/128th or something.
I think
Ridiculous.
it's like 1 out of 1,064 or some crazy thing. She ain't an Indian.
Right. Yeah, I mean, let's face it.
She's about as Indian as...
She certainly didn't. And even if she was a quarter Indian, she doesn't have the Indian experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's never
In
lived
America.
as an Indian.
Yeah, you never lived as an Indian.
She's not a native of...
You tell me you lived on the fucking that awful reservation that's just...
Right.
Where the streets are just lined with fucking booze bottles and tears.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Never spent a day there.
Never ever even been to a reservation, I bet. Although that's a lie. I think she might have hit one on the trail already.
That's where she goes to get laid.
Can you imagine?
She gets herself...
Did you ever, on any of your great bike trips, go through an Indian reservation?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, because you could or because you more or less had to for the route? Or did you chose the route because of the reservation?
Oh, wow. Kamala Harris really married a...
Did she marry up?
I don't know, man. This guy looks like a fucking tool.
Oh, really? White guy? Black guy?
Oh, he's white. You don't get any whiter.
Yeah.
He looks like... Oh, he's a lawyer, of course.
Oh, all right. Well, fucking... Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Lawyers and lawyers.
Another douchebag out there suing people.
Right.
Sue for money.
Yeah.
Fucking parasite.
I have to not admit, what's the word? I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm 50 years old and never sued anybody for anything. Ever.
Well,
I never sued
I've taken
anybody.
a few people to small claims court.
Oh,
but
I haven't.
That's about it.
And actually, I probably could have taken 2 people to small claims court. The only 2 people that I didn't get paid from ever. I just figured it didn't really hurt that bad when it happened. You know what I mean? And I obviously don't care about money enough to, bring someone to small claims court over $1,500 or $2,000, because that's all I lost. But I've never litigated.
He's that Jewish fella that she
Oh, wow.
married. Yeah.
Oh, so she's out. She's out anyway. By the way, a Jewish fella is probably going to be the nominee. So Bernie Sanders isn't he? He's Jewish, right?
She's big on tackling hate crimes.
Isn't that awful? I assume he's Jewish. I hope he is.
Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, thank
he's definitely I don't think he's a practicing Jewish.
He's not
guy.
going to temple every Saturday?
I don't believe so.
Shit.
But he's definitely Jewish.
Is Bernie Sanders Jewish? I hope so, please.
Yeah, I think I know that.
Oh, yeah. He had a bar mitzvah at the historic. This is why I love Wikipedia. They get right into the meat of the story. You know what I mean? They tell where he had his bar mitzvah. It's like, not only is he Jewish, son, he had a bar mitzvah. You know what I mean?
You know,
Super Jew.
Wikipedia, somebody was talking about this on some show. And it was one of the, it was when I say show, I mean something I watched on YouTube about Wikipedia being one of the best things that ever came out of the internet. And I had to think about it and say, yeah, it really is.
I love Wikipedia. And you can't use it as a resource as a student, but guess what? You can use it as a resource as an inquisitive person who used to go to the encyclopedia all the time or the World Almanac.
Well, I was thinking that this morning.
Now it's Wikipedia.
I had these fucking, when I was in high school, I had a...
Encyclopedias.
Now, the encyclopedias I had were probably 10 years old.
I had old ones too, but my parents, they bought us, by us I mean the kids, I think 3 over the course of my childhood. And we never had the World Book Encyclopedia. We always had Collier's or something like that. You know what I mean? It was good. You know what I mean? And you see, that's the other thing about Wikipedia. You're not supposed to use any encyclopedia as a resource in a college paper too. So Wikipedia kind of really took over like that because you can't cite Wikipedia, and you can't cite the World Book Encyclopedia either.
Well, there's so many footnotes at the bottom of Wikipedia. You can find the source.
Yeah, you can certainly go quote the source
or the source of the source.
Right? Yeah, you can find it. And by the way, they really do. They as much as they hammered us on the citations. Well, you didn't probably write as much as I do. You still had to write papers.
Not many.
But you still had to cite properly. That was all part of it. And they hammer them now because it's so easy to not, it's so easy to fucking not be citing something that you're clearly citing now. You know what I mean? Because all these projects are based, especially if you're studying communications, is a whole new thing that wasn't there when we were there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's everywhere now. It's everywhere. It's everything. Technology and the internet. Is everything. It's everywhere. It's running everything shortly. It really is. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I like it. I like the internet. I love it. Anything you want to know about, Joe? Anything. I'm constantly talking into my phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I heard, and I know this is over your head, but I'll give you another example of how do the phone know? How do the phone know? Well, it knows because you do everything with it. I fucking saw on TV that the New England Revolution, the local pro soccer team that plays up in Foxborough, also owned by the Crafts, they're playing my favorite English team in an exhibition this summer. Mm-hmm. I went, oh, that's cool. So all I did was look up the day and see what's the best seat you could get for how much. You know what I mean? And it's $100 seat. And I said, all right, so that's what it costs to get a good seat at that game. I'll put it in the memory bank. I've never gone to a pro soccer game. Maybe I'll go to that one. Every fucking page I'm on Yahoo, Google, whatever I'm fucking looking for, an ad for that fucking game comes up. Shows the guys in the play, New England against Chelsea, you know what I mean, with 4 players and buy tickets, blah, 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 you know what I mean? I didn't even necessarily look up about the game. I just went right to the box office to see what was available.
That's a little bit of artificial intelligence touching you right now.
Yeah. And that is the minutest of examples of the fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Well, what's interesting is that not only do you have that, but you have the price that you get for something may not be the price that someone else would get for something, because depending on how much information they have on you, like if you're going to buy airline tickets, specifically airline tickets,
there's a sliding scale.
Well, they use shit like, how impulsive are you as a buyer, and stuff like that, and they can, by getting information from other, like, look at this eBay fucking freak. He never waits for an auction. He just fucking buy it now. You know what I mean? He's an impulsive buyer. So they'll give you a higher price than somebody that would sit around and fucking, wait for something and might not buy it if it's too high.
I have another example of that, and it's very easy. These orbits and, fucking the travel things, which all look the same, by the way. I swear they're all owned by the same company.
They're probably all driven the same way.
They're all they look, Expedia, Orbits, they all look the same. So anyway, Orbits, I was looking for a room for Charlena's graduation a couple months. The graduation's in a month, but I booked rooms early, I looked on my phone, and then later I forgot my phone, and I asked Kat, and I looked on the same site and the prices were different on hers than mine. It's not like hers was Expedia and mine was Orbitz. They were both fucking Orbitz, man. And all the prices were different.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's more impulsive or whatever, but I'm just saying they weren't the same prices.
So they're getting to know you.
Yeah, getting to know you.
And that's why kind of Facebook is in a world of they're in a world of trouble because they've kind of lost a lot of confidence. People don't have confidence that Facebook is legit. And I don't know why people didn't know this to begin with, but you are not the customer. The people that pay them are the customers. You're just using something for free, and you're getting something by using something for nothing. And that's just the deal. And I don't think people realize that. And they're like, holy shit, they're fucking selling my information to everybody. And not only that, they were selling the information of your friends. You know, so people...
They set out to do that or they stumbled on that early, Joe?
I think there was never, I saw a thing with Jeff Bezos, and somebody, they asked him, look, could you ever believe where Amazon is today, that you're selling everything? And he said, I had absolutely. When I started Amazon, I was fucking packing books and driving them to the post office in my fucking 1987 Chevy Blazer. So to answer your question, no, I had no idea.
Right.
And I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen.
Right.
I think all you can do is start it and have a belief that this is a good business model and then see where it goes.
Right.
So Facebook started off as, a thing where I think this guy just wanted to create something where, hey, people could get together and,
Right.
and then it sort of turns into a monster.
Right.
And as soon as you get shareholders involved, I mean, that's the fucking worst because now you got, as Elon Musk quoted, now you have like a million little tyrants all yelling at you.
Right.
Telling you how to do shit. And, it's just, so no, I mean, however, I do think that I think that Sandberg, the one that wrote that book, Lean In, and I just kind of knew she was a cunt.
Yeah.
Well, everybody was like, no, she's wonderful. And nah, she's a cunt. And she was trying to get people to, because they had done so much Oppo research on the right-wing side, she balanced it out by doing opposition research on the left-wing side and then lied about it.
Right.
And then got caught lying. And, so she's kind of a piece of shit. So it's who you get in bed with, too,
Right.
is also important. I mean, if you get in bed with some decent people, like really decent people, not Sheryl Sandberg, smiling at you on the outside and ripping your throat out on the inside. I mean, she's a vicious cunt. I think you have to keep your moral character, and I think it's tough. How old Zuckerberg? 30.
Yeah, he might just be 30. I'm not sure though.
And he's the CEO of this thing. I mean, there's a lot of people you could bring in that have been CEOs for a long time that couldn't run that company. So,
again, and you're saying that it's in trouble on its way out, so maybe that.
I don't know if it's on its way out.
Sort of platform just kind of.
It's on its way out by
introduced a bunch of possibilities and might, fizzle on out.
Well, I think sites like Facebook will be replaced by something else.
Right.
It's too transitory of a platform. There's too many other ways to connect with people.
He'll be 35 May 14th.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a young guy.
He's still young.
You know, I don't think they're going to go out of business, but, you know, have you heard of MySpace lately?
No, and what was I just looking at? Somebody was talking about MySpace. It was funny as fuck, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, well.
And it can't, I always say it can't just be me. You know, I kind of, and I think, like I've said, that Facebook is a good tool if you want to find people.
Yeah,
and
it's a
as
miracle.
long as you know that whatever information you put in there
It's going to be shared. Yeah.
is going to be shared. It's not private.
And some of the shit you didn't put in there, by the way.
Right. As long as you know that, it's a pretty good tool. But I think there's a lot of people that were sort of naive that this is, you know, there's more to it than what you're seeing. And but I'm a believer that privacy is kind of dead, you know. And you don't have a right to privacy under the Constitution. Although I'll tell you what, we've got, I don't know, I keep thinking about this fucking country, and there's so many fucking rules and laws.
There's a lot of laws.
There's a lot of fucking policing going on.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not just talking about the cops that
Yeah.
I don't want to get on that subject.
No.
There's a lot of fucking rules.
Yeah.
And a lot of little chiefs all over the place too.
Right.
And I think that's problematic in a supposedly free society. We're not as free as we think.
I think there's some truth to that.
Well, you certainly can't. You should be able to call the CEO of various places a fucking asshole and bad names if they're doing a horrible job, and you can get yourself in trouble doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're not as free as you think.
Yeah. Oh boy, I don't really have a segue. I'll throw something else out. You know what I wanted to ask you, and I know this is a weird one. It was gonna fucking turn into something else, and I forget what I wanted to turn it into. First of all, you sure that new truck's not blue? Is that black or blue?
Which one? Mine?
Yeah, your GMC.
Well, it's blue.
All right, it is blue. All right. I could have sworn you told me it was black, and today I was looking at it up there, and I'm going, that's fucking pretty blue.
No, I believe it's blue.
All right, that's cool. What? No more diesel in any of these? No more diesel delivery in your car? I saw because the red truck had new toolboxes in it, yeah?
There's diesel tanks in both.
Oh, there's actual... So is the pump in the other one?
Yep.
Also, it's just a smaller setup. I got you. Or more...
It's actually just more hidden.
More hidden. That's
tanks are both 60 gallons, but there's a truck box. There's a toolbox that sits on top. That's very, very shallow.
Yeah.
But the pump is underneath. The pump and the hose is underneath.
Is this all your design, or are those made for that?
You're supposed to have a sticker on the fucking things. You're supposed to get a sticker every year
That just says, there's diesel in this fucking thing?
I don't know. You're supposed to take it to the fire department every year.
Yeah.
Get a sticker on it, and the guy comes out and he looks at the box and makes sure you have a fire extinguisher in the truck.
Right.
And it's a pain in the ass. I know it's once a year, so you're like, why is it such a pain in the ass? And I'm like, because it's a pain in the ass. Because the guy's not there, or, you know.
Right.
It's not like you can go, you can't call and schedule an appointment. You just have to fucking keep going there until the guy's there.
Right.
And that's a pain in the ass.
I agree.
So I said, you know, I saw these boxes, and I'm like, holy shit, the cover just comes down. No one will even know that there's a tank.
Yeah, right.
Because usually the things stick up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty...
And it doesn't look like there's any fuel tank there, does it?
No, I honestly didn't think that's what was going on.
So now that it just looks like toolboxes, and there's a 60-gallon fuel tank.
Awesome.
Right there.
Very good. It's all about making it, Joe. It's all about making it.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you see that the old president was he was naming a crony of his to the Federal Reserve Board, and he's getting this crony of his is getting pushback from Republicans. I just thought it was interesting. Old Herman Cain, who for a week or two was front runner back in.
Oh, is the president trying to put Herman in somewhere?
on the board of the Fed? He wants him to have a seat on the board.
Herman's not an unqualified person.
No, he's not unqualified.
He's a guy made himself. He's a self-made multi-millionaire type guy.
They call him a pizza executive.
And he,
Whatever that means.
I don't know the name of the company that he founded.
I don't either. Was it Little Caesars or some shit?
But he's...
And remember, he was the front runner in 2000 and... Was it the year that fucking Mitt... Yeah, I think... Yeah, the year that Mitt ran.
Well...
He was the front runner for a minute.
You gotta think that... obviously, Trump's a racist, so he wouldn't be putting Herman Cain on.
Well, of course. Why would he do that?
So
that means all of those fucking people who are against him are racist, by the way. Some racist ass shit.
Maybe Trump has. It's certainly not. It's not cronyism. It's he's trying to put somebody he hates on there to fuck up the Federal Reserve.
Imagine? Can you imagine? He's
know
like,
what I
who's
mean?
the biggest fucking idiot I can think of?
Right. That Herman Cain, he's certainly...
He's kind of loud and...
He's right up there with the rent is too damn high guy.
Can you imagine?
Let's put him on the Federal Reserve.
The rent is too damn high party. And then...
I saw him on Imus. Remember? The rent is too damn... And that was like 2012.
That guy was running for New York City mayor. And you know who else ran for mayor? Vermin Supreme. Remember Vermin Supreme? He wore the rain boot on his head, had long old hair. He wore a suit and everything, but he wore a fucking rain boot, a rubber rain boot on his head.
Kind of.
Vermin
These people are
Supreme.
Absolute characters.
Yeah.
I mean, the
New
rent
York,
is too damn high guy was... I would have voted for him if I lived in
New York City
York.
doesn't do the Democrat and Republican thing. They do the whittle it down to two thing. So you can have 50 people fucking running for mayor. Anyone who can manage to get enough signatures, and I guess it's not a lot of signatures. We can look it up, but I bet you it's like 5,000. Anyone can run. You know what I mean?
You don't need that many.
Probably not, right? It's like 250 or something. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe they should look into that rule. But whatever. It doesn't seem like many unqualified people. I mean, Bill de Blasio is as qualified as anyone else, and he's in the news as well. Wow, that folded in nicely into something else. I didn't think I would be taking the tact from the political side, but get your kids fucking immunized, okay? Everybody.
Oh, I saw that.
Will you just get your kids immunized?
I saw a...
Kids are more likely to get autism if they're not immunized. Okay?
Your kid's more likely to die of fucking some cured disease.
There are people... De Blasio
had kid immunized.
De Blasio had to declare a state of emergency, and there are mandatory immunizations going on if you live in certain neighborhoods. If you have to get immunized, or you will get arrested. If you want
to live in a city,
and we will immunize you while you're arrested if you don't like it.
Right? No, I don't care how many Jenny McCarthy fucking videos you watch. If you don't immunize your kid, for A, doesn't get to go to school with anybody.
Right.
And then B, you get thrown in jail as a parent. And Kamala Harris can throw you in jail for that.
Yeah.
I believe, she wouldn't because she'd rather throw somebody in jail.
Putting everybody else's fucking health in jeopardy.
I mean, there are literally things like smallpox was eradicated from the planet.
Yeah.
Because of immunization.
Yeah.
Like, nobody gets smallpox anymore. And if all of a sudden smallpox started coming back because some asshole that watched a Jenny McCarthy video about autism,
They got it in a vault.
immunize
in
your children,
Atlanta.
you fucking morons.
Yeah. There's a reason, because people just get shit.
And it's absolutely been proven beyond any fucking doubt that vaccines do not cause autism.
Right. Now, what has caused more autism? Is it because the quote-unquote spectrum is broader, and we just didn't call it anything on the spectrum back when you and I were kids?
I don't know.
Why are more people diagnosed with it now? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Probably because they've widened the range of what autism
Right,
is.
that's what I'm saying. They widen the range of that spectrum.
But they've got all these fucking correlations and shit that
No.
mean nothing. A correlation.
Again, I'm speaking about shit that I really don't know about, and just,
No, you're talking about de Blasio. There's a measles. I bet de Blasio
Oh yeah, no,
probably
that I
ran
know
on
about.
a platform that, you can do whatever you want.
Well, he's had to declare a state of emergency in New York City today.
Well, if you got fucking measles outbreaks, which was basically, measles was a stomped out, it was gone.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the United States.
Nope.
So if there's people getting fucking measles,
Yeah.
and the United States is a fucking huge influx of people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So if there's people probably flying in that have measles.
Oh yeah. Every day, by the way.
So if you're not going to vaccinate your kid because
You're afraid.
you're an
What?
idiot. You're an idiot.
Yeah. Get your kids vaccinated, please.
You know who Jim Jeffries is, the comedian?
I'm familiar with him.
He was with a woman for a while. He had a kid with her. Then he bought her a house down the street for her and the kid to go live in. Because, I don't know, I guess it didn't work out. But she didn't want to have their kid immunized. And he literally, took the kid, made something up. She
And
went
got
to
him
work,
immunized.
ran down and fucking had him get all the shots. Because he had gone into because at first he was open to the idea. Oh, yeah. Then he went in. He said, I went to the doctor and for something for himself. And he goes, what do you think of, what do you think about child, getting your kids vaccinated? And she said, what do you think about having an alive child?
Right.
I'd like my child to be alive. Well, then get him vaccinated.
Yeah.
And the person was that fucking short about it. And he goes, really? There's no discussion? Anybody that doesn't have the woman said something like, anybody that doesn't have their kid vaccinated is a fucking moron.
Right.
And you're asking for your child to die.
Mm.
So he said, I'm getting her vaccinated.
Yeah.
He did. And then he said for 3 days he was all fucking wheezy and out of it because he got all of the vaccinations.
Yeah.
So for 3 days he thought she was right. She was yelling at him, you look what you did. You made him autistic.
Yeah, well, they get sick.
And then he's bounced right out of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There hasn't been any. This was a few years
You
ago.
can't be getting that many shots without, being a little
Yeah,
woozy.
it was a little groggy.
a
and
little
it's like-
woozy.
It's like people think, well, you're going to give me, the polio vaccine, and that has polio in it. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have polio in it, you fucking idiot. It has polio antigens
Right.
that teach your body how to fight off polio.
Right.
It doesn't have, you're not giving yourself fucking polio. That's what happens when stupid people get to read a lot of shit on the internet.
Well, that's one bad thing about the internet.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm telling you, when morons get to that can't decipher information,
Now,
I'm telling you.
have you fucking diagnosed yourself with anything based on, or have sought material to self-diagnose anything on the internet? Because I know I have. I've fallen guilty on that one.
What do you mean? You got an ailment, and then you look it up, and you go, "Holy shit!
Well,
I
you-
got fucking
I got this, or I got
eyeball
that.
cancer or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Not anything with any seriousness. No. Like, I haven't looked at, like, any kind of a skin tag or something and gone, oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, I did
I
that.
think that's fucking cancer.
I did that with the whole alcohol withdrawal thing. I was trying to figure out if I was having a fucking a low blood sugar fucking issue or fucking withdrawal from alcohol. I kind of had both, actually. Because when you're on the medicine, it lowers your blood sugar, and then when you drink, it lowers your blood sugar.
And does it make you tired?
It's just dangerous. It makes your nerve endings go crazy.
I have
You
had
fucking get neuropathy in your legs and your hands and your arms and shit.
And this is for a long time, and it's probably part of my overall diagnosis as clinically depressed and with the generalized anxiety disorder. And that's kind of like my overall life diagnosis. Mm-hmm. But I always, like, I had, and still to this day, don't have a lot of energy. You know what I mean? But I think it's because of, but I'm talking about when I was in high school, college, and right around when I was in or just left college, came out chronic fatigue syndrome. Do you remember that? And now that's still.
They batted that one around for my brother, but it ended up not being that.
There are people. There's a guy by the name of
My other brother.
I think his name is Howard Bloom. He was
Sounds familiar.
He was on Joe Rogan.
The weird thing about the near beers is they start tasting like onions 3 or 4 deep. 2 of them are good. That's about it. Sorry, that was a weird segue.
There he is, Howard Bloom
The
on
non
Joe
sequitur.
Rogan. Howard Bloom has done everything. He's like a fucking. He was a record executive. He's a physicist.
He's a Renaissance man.
He's a fucking genius.
He's a modern day Renaissance man.
This guy was in bed for 15 years. And Rogan was looking at him going, wait a minute.
Which 15 years, though?
He was in bed from like age 40 to 55.
I was in bed from like 46 to 48. Pretty much.
Well, he was in bed for 15 years.
That's crazy.
And he was saying things like he was so weak he couldn't talk.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I've watched I've seen these people that have, on various not television, but like YouTube channels and shit like that. I've seen enough of this where it's a real problem.
Sure.
A couple documentaries. There's a documentary that was on Netflix about a surfer who got his. Oh, I know what it was about. This was like, and there's a lot of truth to this too. Like, he got punched in the face when he was a kid, and it broke 2 teeth, and he needed to have a root canal. And ever since he had the root canal, he was fucking sick and couldn't figure out what was wrong with him.
Wow.
And finally, he went to some doctor just by chance, and the first thing he asked him was, have you ever had a root canal?
Wow.
And he goes, yeah. He goes, we're going to pull that tooth. And they pulled the tooth, and after 10 years of floundering around, going from this healthy, athletic person to this person that couldn't get out of bed, he went back to normal. So your body's a fucking complicated thing.
Yeah, right.
And like the mouth is a huge, when you got fucked up teeth and rotted teeth and shit like that, that's a huge pathway.
Yeah, you're asking for it.
Well,
if you don't take care of your mouth.
It's a direct route to your bloodstream.
By the way, I'm getting my teeth cleaned again next week. I can't wait. I got good, healthy teeth. They're not all that straight looking, but that's one thing I got. I got nice skin, and I got nice skin. I got nice hair, and I got nice teeth.
You do.
And really strong fingernails and toenails. from your body language, I can tell that you're all done.
How long have we been on?
I would say long enough. An hour and 15 minutes is good. We had a nice chat. We actually had a conversation,
Yeah.
which is fun. I always like to have a conversation with you, Joe.
As long as
Now
we
good
as long as we keep doing it, Al, that's the key.
content, Joe. Just content. That's all.
And we
That's
get
all That's all good.
Bob Malone will be here Thursday.
Is that good? That seems to be the trend.
He likes it. He likes being in on it.
He can be in on the action.
He likes being in on it.
No, it's fucking less I got to talk, frankly.
It's wonderful.
All I got to do is I just put the ball in play. That's all. It works.
It does.
All right, everybody.
It's a short show, but it's
all right.
It's a good show. Nobody was too angry.
Nobody
or
got
drunk.
hurt. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's feelings were hurt.
Nobody's
which is nice.
Going home all wounded. Fucking miserable.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm miserable.
Or no one's any more miserable than when they came in.
I can't. I'm not going to do it right now, but I got at least one more session in me, and then I want to have a talk with you about what therapy is and should be at some point. Because what I'm doing ain't it.
Well,
so
we'll talk about it.
All right, everybody. Good night, Waterbury.
Good night.